A very pleasant good afternoon, and to one and all, a happy Tuesday. As we launch the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show, we are at Quaker Steak and Lube. It is the place to be. My hat looks all disheveled on the video as we get underway here. Lots to talk about on this Tuesday, but we have
breaking news,
quite frankly, devastating news. Goon, I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure. This is going to be one of the tougher shows we've had to endure in quite a while.
We got to push through this, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things you're like, yeah, I know it can happen, but you don't eventually. You don't let your mind go there. And go ahead. I don't even know that I can share the news.
Joey Chestnut is out of the 2024 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest in his beef over vegan franks that would they be serving this year. So how can they serve at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest near brand Impossible Foods vegan frankfurters?
Now, that is an option, or they are making, if you are in the hot dog eating contest, you have to eat the vegan franks? I need to read more about
with
this.
Them right now, though.
This is truly
breaking news.
Outrageous. I need to learn and find out more about what in the world is going on here.
A near impossible, almost in brand frankfurter. Oh, Lordy Doherty, Jeff. What is the world coming to, my man? What is the world coming to? A hot dog eating competition is now
without meat.
Without meat.
That can't be right.
That's the New York Post, so who knows?
I mean, that they're not mandating, right? They can't possibly be mandating.
But I mean, how can
that at a hot dog eating contest you eat vegan dogs?
How can one brand? Well, one person eat Nathan's, the other person not eat Nathan's, and they eat near frankfurters. It's not apples and oranges, buddy. I didn't know you'd be this upset, man.
Well, this is truly
no longer
outrageous.
July 4th for you anymore. Independence Day has lost its meaning.
A rep for Major League Eating. And do you not just love that we have Major League Eating here in the good old
first world problem
U.S. of A? From the New York Post article, a rep for Major League Eating, MLE, which Nathan's sanctions to run the event, said the organizers bent over backwards to meet Chestnut's various other demands. They even agreed to let him participate in a rival Labor Day dog eating contest to be taped by Netflix as long as no hot dogs were harmed in the eat. No, as long as no hot dog brand was mentioned. So if you are, I have to tell you, I am really out of it on the Major League Eating rules. So you can't eat in another event, a non-MLE sanctioned event, if you are part of the MLE. I truly did not know.
You want representation from the Major League Eating Association. You need to abide by the rules.
Yes. They said they drew the line on letting Chestnut pitch for a different dog. Source said Chestnut was paid $200,000 to appear in the Nathan's contest last year and was offered a $1.2 million 4-year contract going forward.
But that's for Nathan's, or is Nathan's is going to?
Well,
Nathan's, or does he have to? He wants to change it to a near. He can't be doing that, right?
Well, no. This is so. MLE says in a statement, "Quote: We are devastated." Well, I hear you. Sorry,
MLE.
That was not part of the quote. Said in a statement, "Quote: We are devastated to learn that Joey Chestnut has chosen to represent a rival brand that sells plant-based hot dogs rather than competing in the 2024 Nathan's Famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest." Unquote. Meats. Okay. I'm still not happy that, Joey Chestnut's not there, but okay. So Nathan's is
Still
a
sponsored, yes.
meat hot dog that is being served there. It is Chestnut that is wanting to represent. Now, this is so. Again, we just stumbled upon this right before the show, so I'm trying to find out. Like, was he when it says to represent? Like,
he's representing the fake meat.
Right, but does that mean that was he just being asked to be allowed to represent the other brand, or was he demanding that he eat? Because if he's demanding to eat something different than the other contestants,
that's not right.
That shouldn't be allowed. No. I'm completely on MLE's side. Now, if it's representing, I don't know enough about the actual situation here with Major League Eating. I'm just, again, reading directly from the New York Post article. Breaking news. MLE and Nathan's went to great lengths to accommodate Joey and his management team, agreeing to the appearance fee and allowing Joey to compete in a rival unbranded hot dog eating contest on Labor Day. For nearly 2 decades, we have worked under the same basic hot dog exclusivity provisions. I mean, you have to love America. Do you not?
Exclusivities.
For nearly 2 decades, we have worked under the same basic hot dog exclusivity provisions. However, it seems that Joey and his managers have prioritized a new partnership with a different brand over our longtime relationship. Joey Chestnut is an American hero. And I don't disagree. We would love nothing more than to have him at the Nathan's Famous International Hot Dog Eating Contest. We hope he returns when he is not representing a rival brand. I
did see that Kobayashi
again. I don't know
dealing with health issues now in his retirement from the eating leagues.
Well, I need to hear Chestnut's side of this, because what is not clear to me. Well, there's a couple of things that aren't clear to me from this New York Post story. One is representing the brand. What does that entail? Because I think I'm on MLE's side and Nathan's side here. If it was, hey, I want to show up in an outfit that promotes this other brand. If it's a rival brand, right, that makes no sense. You're at the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest. You don't want the most popular figure there wearing uniform or, clothing that represents a competing brand. I mean, that would make no sense, right? And that, I think now they would be completely in the right. Or if he was demanding to eat, it doesn't sound like he was saying he wanted vegan hot dogs to be what he was consuming. That does not seem to be the case. Now, if it is a situation where it wasn't that he was going to wear anything, or it's just that he was signing a deal with this group, I don't know. There's probably gray area there in terms of at least my view on it, because, you want him associated with your event, your hot dogs. If there is a contractual agreement there that's what you're going to represent, and now, again, it's a rival brand.
It's not even meat.
Yeah, I can probably be talked into either way on that.
Let's just given say that Joey Chestnut sold out
celebrity status. Well, again, I need more details. I need more details on exactly how this played out and what all is involved. It is hard to imagine, though, is it not, the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest on America's birthday sans Joey Chestnut?
Well, I mean,
that does not seem like it is going to be the same event. And whoever wins it, first of all, right, the closest rival is usually around 20 dogs behind. It's around 50, which, by the way, in and of itself is ridiculous. I don't know. I think we've talked about this. I don't know that I ever even want to try to see how many hot dogs I can consume. But I don't know that I'd be able to get 10 down
Could
in
you
10
do
minutes.
9?
A dog a minute.
Oh my God.
I mean, that is like on the surface, you'd say, oh, come on. Yes, you put your mind to it. You starve yourself a little bit. I don't, 10 hot dogs, and you have to consume the buns.
Yeah,
and I'm not dipping them in the wine. Like, I get it. I'm not, I wouldn't be able to do that. I need to eat. Like, I can't just swallow the way these guys do entire meat sandwich products.
Okay, I have to read this to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
The world record for hot dogs eaten in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, which is 1.5 hours, right?
No, it's like 10 minutes.
Okay. Even worse, even more disgusting.
Yeah.
Give me a number. What do you think?
Well, it was Chestnut.
I know it was Chestnut.
He has like the top 5 or 6 or maybe even
year,
more than that.
It's appalling.
I'm forgetting what he was at. Was it at, I don't think did he get over 80? I know he was shooting for 80. Was it 80? Okay. Yeah. I know 70 was the big mark for a while.
2021, he said it. 39-year-old topped the record in 2020 was 75. He said his own record in 18 was 74.
Yeah. That's a lot of hot dogs.
Could you do the 9 hot dogs in 9 innings at a baseball park? That's one of the things going on right now. I know Joe Putnam, our friend from the Spikes, does it.
9 innings,
maybe 9 dogs in 9 innings. That's
yeah.
sort of a thing last year at Penn State games on Tuesday nights.
Maybe.
Now, how would you go about it? This is great. This is how we're starting our show up with the MLE talk.
Well, this is...
We got MLB, NFL, NHL. We're going to go MEL.
It's a
MLE.
slice of Americana.
It is.
What do you mean, how would I go about it? I'm not dunking the buns in water. I'm not doing that. I can tell you that.
I guess my question is, how I would go about it is I would just eat until I was full and then take some time off.
Wow.
Or would you go one an inning? Okay, the inning just started. I got to get this one down.
I think I would try.
I would probably try to do the 5 or 6 quick. Not quick, just at one sitting, and then you got to wait till the 6th or 7th inning to get 3 more down.
Now, are you putting I don't think these guys, right? It's just hot dog and bun. I mean, and I know they do the water thing.
Correct. That's
I don't think I can do I think I need condiments.
Okay.
I need either ketchup or mustard or preferably both on my dog.
Well,
I can forego
that's a whole show in itself, Jeff, what we put on hot dogs.
Yes. Now, for the trying to do 9 dogs in 9 innings, I'm foregoing like jalapenos or anything like that, which I do like on the hot dogs as well. But I'd have to do ketchup and mustard. I don't, or at least one of them, and it could be either one. I'm not. I can do, but I need a condiment on my hot dog.
No ketchup on mustard. No ketchup on hot dogs. Never. It's not my thing.
Oh, I love ketchup on
multiple, but I like different mustards. I know people who like mustard, just yellow mustard. No.
Yeah, I like on the hot dogs. I'm good with the yellow
mustard. I love the Golden's brown mustard is what I eat on my Nathan's hot dog, and I don't eat Nathan hot dogs.
Yeah,
so I have a little phobia, Jeff. So when we were little kids, we used to eat hot dogs a lot. That's just you grew up in a big family.
I got news for you. You grew up in a small family.
I mean, everybody eating hot dogs, but
that's what you do.
But my mother would boil them, and that was a Saturday thing. My mother would, I just ate them. At one point, I was eating frozen hot dogs as popsicles. And that thought about it now makes me ill in my stomach.
That's
You got to get to the point where you want to warm it down enough to be able to bite through it. And
now you weren't doing no condiments. You're just eating the hot dog.
That was a couple times as a kid, as like a popsicle type of thing. Eating hot
Interesting.
Dogs. Yeah, and then I can't really do anything. I need. This is a great conversation because this is like up my alley right now. So it's about the snap of the hot dog in my world right now. It's got to have a snap. The casing. I don't like boiled hot dogs. I like a grilled hot dog.
I
Gotta
strongly
have some
prefer the
char.
grilled hot dog myself.
And even if
these days.
it is the non-cased one, like a Hatfield or a Ballpark,
Yeah,
when they do crack and they get a little crispy on the outside,
Yep.
that's good.
yeah.
But the Nathans they're my favorite. I have a flat top grill. I'll just roll them on the flat top grill a little bit, or on a grated grill. They're good either way. I got to have my spicy brown mustard, or a horseradish mustard, or a heavier spicy mustard. More than yellow.
Yeah,
Yellow is just too plain for me.
I can do
I love
yellow.
I love me some onions, and I love me some relish on there.
Yep.
So I don't know. We got 3 baseball games I'm going to be going to on Thursday. Maybe I do 27 hot dogs.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know.
9 and 9. We could try.
I don't know if I could. I'm
wanna try it on the
I'm
air?
certainly willing to give it a shot. Absolutely, but let's at least see what we can do.
All right, I'll set that baby up. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think the dogs are the easy part. It is the bread.
It's the
like
roll.
9
Yeah.
hot dog rolls is where, like, that is
Yeah, I couldn't do the
a
dip in
lot
water.
of. I couldn't either.
Can we chase it with beer?
Well, yeah, we could chase it
Yeah,
with a beer.
that's fine.
That'll
That'll put the bread down a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're right. The 9.
Although
the
it's going to
9
add to
rolls.
the. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what's amazing about 77 or 70 plus hot dogs in 10 minutes
I don't
is
even want to
absurd.
talk
But
about that. Oh God.
to get that much bread down is what is truly amazing. Like, you just can't get your mind. Well, I can't get my mind around that. And I think that's where I would run. Like, if it was just
That's
9
a hot dog almost
hot
10
dogs.
seconds.
Yeah, but if it was just a hot dog, not that, but 9, like just the dogs, no buns, that I could do. 9 dogs in 9 innings, just eating the meat. That I could do. The bread,
How would you
think,
do
is
it?
going to take a toll, though.
You need some time to think about how you would do it. Would you get like 4 or 5 down and then take your time on the last 4 or 5?
See, I don't know what I can see that going either way. I can see my body saying, all right, you're done for the day there once you take the break there, buddy boy.
Yeah.
And it might be.
That's a concern.
And again, especially with the bread, like man, that is a lot of bread. A lot of the meals now that we eat, I shun the bun. I don't do a lot of buns. Now, I will say I do like the brioche buns. And when we'll do some grilling out, obviously, over the summer, a good bit of grilling out. And a lot of times we'll just, pretty much everybody in our family generally forgoes the bun. And so it's just like, yep, here's, my wife's a vegetarian, so veggie burger here, a couple of hamburgers, a couple of hot dogs, whatever. And that's what I'm worried about. The bread. Now, obviously, we'll have some hot dogs with rolls and the brioche hot dog rolls and hamburger buns. If you're gonna do rolls, that's the way to do it. But
really, you want a fancy roll too?
Well, yeah, not so much for this.
No, not for this. Absolutely.
But yes, I do like when I eat. I don't always eat a roll, but when I do, dear Goon, it's a brioche roll. More as often as not.
That is a 16801 type attitude right there.
Well,
because I want to throw this out at you.
Yeah, hit me.
There's nothing better on a Nathan's hot dog than a potato roll. A yellow potato roll. Just, I don't know what it is. It just makes it happen.
Yeah, I do like.
Right?
I do like the potato roll from time to time.
I wonder if the potato rolls are actually heavier than a regular roll. We gotta do some we gotta do some research here. I just sent Walker the message. They said 9 for 9. We have to get a sponsor for the hot dogs.
Boy, that is going to be a challenge. I think we're up to it.
Let's do it.
I do. I don't know about my strategy.
We got a 2-hour show.
I think if I do one in the top, maybe the first 2 innings, I'll try to do one in each half of the inning.
That's 4.
Right. And then I can try to pace it out and kind of go win an inning, but I
Well,
can
was
take a
scared.
couple innings
High school
off
baseball
here
is
or
only
there.
7 innings this week.
Oh, that's true too. That's true too.
So we have 2 hours to do 9 dogs.
Yeah.
Baseball games usually got 3 hours. So, I've thought about this, and I would definitely go with. I'd hammer down 4 or 5 probably in the first full inning.
Yeah, the buns are going to be the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
and I'm
hung up on
almost
that.
saying this is even crazier, but
yeah,
what if I double up the hot dog in the bun and just have to eat the bun later?
I wouldn't be able to do that. I can't do just the. I'll have tough enough time getting the bread down with the meat. I can't do just. Yeah, once
Jeff can't make the show this week. He's in.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot. That's a lot. There are some other things we could get into today, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or do we just want to do 2 hours of hot dog talk? I think I might be all right with that too.
Nothing wrong with MLE talking. I love that the fact that they have a union and an association. Major League Eaters Association.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have not had many holdouts in the MLE history, and here we go.
Well,
Joey Chestnut holding out of the
right
big event. The Wing Bowl? Yeah.
They discontinued it, I believe. So, actually, God rest his soul, my buddy from home, Big Doc, was one of the first contestants in the first ever Wing Bowl. 25 years ago, he was in it. And
how'd he do?
He came in second to the guy who won it. I think it was only 2 guys going at it. And this was just local yahoos getting in on going and doing the show. This is before the professionals came in on board. Now he did not win it, but he got. I think it was only 2 guys going at it at that point. But they couldn't find any articles of how like the first one, and some of my friends had some pictures of it, and they found them and sent them out to WIP. Thought that was pretty damn funny, but yeah, we lost Doc a couple of years ago to the Big C.
Yep.
Damn it, man.
Yep.
Always the Big C.
Yeah,
I got a huge weekend up here, Jeffrey.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got my bowling tournament Friday night for the Football Letterman's Club bowling tournament.
That'll be fun.
It'll be a good time. We got some sponsorships out there. See the old players, see my old teammates, stuff like that. And then obviously got the baseball games coming up all weekend. I got my niece coming up for orientation on Sunday. Jeez. All these kids are getting old. All my high school teammates' kids are getting. My brother's kids are all coming to school now, man.
It is a little crazy.
Yes, sir. And I saw something today. I don't know if you have our friend Pete Kirkendall on Facebook, but he says in 6 years, the 80s will have been 50 years ago.
That can't be right.
Yep.
He needs work.
He definitely got defriended instantly because I don't want to hear that kind of talk. But yes, it's it'll be 80. It'll be 50 years from 1980 in 6 years. I did say that the 80s 1980 was the 80s. So, right?
That's ridiculous.
You graduated high school.
You guys don't know how to do math.
7 decades
I don't know what's
ago,
going
buddy.
on there. Clearly,
in 6 years, you'd have gone to school 7 or 8 decades ago.
Clearly, you guys have messed up. You didn't know how to carry the one or something. I don't know what's going on with you guys. You got to work on that.
Yeah, so they let them
come back when you get a better answer.
Nope. I'll let them come. A lot of guys come back. We got a bowling thing on, raise some money. A couple different charities we support. OJ Catch 81 Foundation and Carly Short, which is Brandon Short's daughter, his daughter who was deceased a couple years ago. They have a fundraiser for her at this event. So then golfing on Saturday. It's a long couple days, bud. Yeah, this is after the baseball and softball.
Yep, couple of days of PIAA baseball and softball championship action coming up on the Penn State campus Thursday and Friday. 6 classes of baseball and 6 classes of softball, so we'll do 3 each on Thursday and Friday at the Penn State softball complex and at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. And of course, locally here, Bald Eagle Area's baseball team will go for a second consecutive PIAA state title as the Eagles will take on Tri-Valley tomorrow. That'll be a 10:30 a.m. start. And if you are listening to our show on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, this is the station where you will be able to hear that game tomorrow. Again, the first pitch is set for 10:30 tomorrow morning. And with that, not tomorrow, Thursday morning. My gosh. Thursday morning, we will have an extra 15 minutes of our Let's Talk program in the morning. So we'll go from 8 till 10:15 instead of the usual 10, and then we'll throw it up to Todd and Norm Brown at about 10:15 for coverage of the state championship game between Bald Eagle Area and Tri-Valley. Bald Eagle Area's softball team lost a tough one yesterday in the semifinals down at Lock Haven University. A huge thank you to Dave Breon, who helped me out with the broadcast of that one. Bald Eagle Area was shut out 3-0 by South Williamsport. And one of the more remarkable statistics coming out of that game is South Williamsport has a grand total of 0 seniors. Not in the starting lineup, on the roster. Not a senior to be found. So that entire team, which will play for the state title on Friday at 11 a.m. at the Penn State softball complex, that entire team, regardless of the outcome here on Friday, will be back next year. And obviously, if they win the championship, they will probably be a pretty strong favorite to repeat as state champions next year. Because literally every single player will return. You don't see that very often.
It's pretty funny that, obviously I'm dealing with a couple different teams coming up here. Actually, my high school is playing. They play tonight, and if they win lacrosse, they'll be here Saturday for the lacrosse final. So,
yeah, that's at Panzer Stadium.
I tried to talk to my buddy, one of my real good friends from high school. His son's the catcher on LaSalle's baseball team. And I was like, hey, I got a hold of the coach. I'm like, hey, why don't you be proactive and try to get these rooms ready. He's like, we didn't win yet. I said, I'm saying be proactive. He's like, we didn't win yet. No, we didn't do that. And they would not call ahead. And it's just like, they're not going to charge you if you say, hey, we lost, we're not coming for the game. Then he goes, no, we didn't win yet. I was like, okay, I got you. And it wasn't just one of them. Time. It was multiple.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty funny how it was. And I talked to Jeff Powers, the manager here at Quaker Steak Lube. He used to be the manager and general manager of the Lamont Ducks. Because they were on a losing streak one night, and, he left the game, and he went to, I feel like Burger King tonight. He had 2 junior bacon Whoppers. And they went on a winning streak. And he kept on doing it and kept on doing it. And the one time he went to the counter and he's like, it's a playoff game. And I went to the drive-thru and the guy's like, dude, we messed up. We gave you Whoppers. But he goes, we're not going to charge you. He goes, we're not going to charge you. We're going to charge you for the junior Whoppers. He's like, no. You will give me 2 junior Whoppers with bacon.
You got to understand how this works.
This is it. And it was all very superstitious.
Yeah.
When you were playing, were you? I totally was.
Oh, yeah.
I completely was.
Yeah, I mean, not with some things, yes. Like I had to have the same shirt on underneath. Yep. Obviously, you had to have everything lined up the same way. All of that stuff. I don't think. Boy, if I had anything that I don't remember that I had a specific routine when it came to what I ate on game day. Now, after the games, we would always go down to Arby's, which, by the way, is coming back. Yes. Free plug for Arby's here in State College. But that was the local hangout on football Friday nights.
5 for $5 back in the day?
If it was a home game, for sure. But even on the away games, if we could get back in time, it depended obviously a little bit on where the game was and how long it took everybody to get showered and back on the bus and all of that. But you try to get down to Arby's after the game. I may have had something specific. I feel like I think the meal varied. I feel like there was probably
Arby's meal or
something
pregame meal?
specifically pregame.
Gotcha.
But I think there may have been something in there, and I'm genuinely not remembering what it was. But I feel like right
I'm
before
only in college
there was something
now,
specifically
so I have to go back to high school.
Yeah, something specific that we had to eat
My
or
college
drink
stuff, I
with
was
it.
very regimented, but that was also goes into the whole Joe thing. But so I went to high school, and I'm thinking the night game we had spaghetti and meatballs in between school and the game. My mother used to make it, and then it turned into a LaSalle senior night thing. They had all the seniors and the team would go in between games. So like you get done school at 3:00. You don't leave until 6 o'clock to go to the game. So you would go to my mom's house and have spaghetti and meatballs. And then on game day, on a Saturday or Sunday, it was pancakes at the Conlin house. So, but then when I got to Penn State, I got to tell you this, is that, yes, it went left sock, right sock, left cleat, right cleat.
Yeah.
Every day. The T-shirt underneath for the game day uniform is all the same and all that stuff. But the food is, and this is why it's so funny. People ask us like that debacle at Illinois in 1994 when we woke up and there's no electricity in our hotel. People don't realize how regimented the old man was. And it wasn't just the old man. It was every college football team had a regiment. You had a regiment. You get up on a certain time, and you go down and you have your continental breakfast, you get taped, you do your rehab, do whatever, you go back to your room, you have a meeting, whatever, whatnot, go down to your pregame meal, get back on the bus and go and leave. So then when that got disrupted, we were totally screwed up because, we were eating pizza and cheesesteaks before a game, and it was like, we loved it at the time, but it stunk when the game started because we weren't ready to play. But preseason, when you pretty much knew that you were going to be on the traveling squad, you got a note in your locker, and that was, every Friday night was the same meal. Every Friday night was the same meal on the road. You had a big hunk of chicken, a big hunk of steak, a big hunk of lasagna, and a vegetable. Now, that is a enormous amount of food.
Yep. A lot of protein in there.
It's carb loading,
some
protein
carbs,
loading, everything for the weekend and stuff like that. But it was funny. I always told you this all the time. You never sat with the running backs and defensive backs at a dining hall because the offensive line always stayed together. But on pregame meals, we always used to sit next to the running backs and the receivers and the defensive backs because you knew they couldn't eat all of that. You'd get a free steak out of it sometimes. But the note would be on game day, if it's an afternoon game or a morning game, you get your choice of French toast, pancakes, steak, and eggs. And then for a night game, it was steak, chicken, or chicken and pasta or something like that. That was your choice. Mm-hmm. And then you literally had that every Friday and Saturday of game days for away trips and stuff like that. And they did it for years. They never changed anything about it. And the old man was so adamant about the night before, that was your time to feed up, get to fill up your carb loading, all that stuff. And then on game day, he would be furious when you tried to eat too much. I remember getting yelled at. I got set up one time. My first game I traveled to was Temple, 1991, my true freshman year. The old man's like, you're a Philadelphia guy. I'll bring you down here. So I go down there, and the older offensive lineman said, hey, go up and go get a second steak. Because they had Philly cheesesteaks on the docket. And I went up to get a second plate of cheesesteak, and the old man was mad and upset because it was Friday night before a game, so he had to be mad and upset. So he yells at me in front of the whole team that we're too fat. It's always we. It wasn't you're too fat. It was always we're too fat. We got too many heavy guys on this team. Sit your fat butt down. And then I got back to the table, and everybody was laughing at me. And I was like, I just got set up, didn't I? And they go, absolutely. So every year we used to get the one first year, the first guy traveling, his first trip, we used to get him all the time with it. And the old man usually just go absolutely bonkers. Because if you got one, and Joe didn't say anything, the other guys could go up and give him. So I was just a guinea pig, and I got my head bitten off. Wasn't good, Jeff. This has been a wonderful sports conversation we've had today for the last 34 minutes.
It really has. We'll take a break on this high note and let everything digest a bit. And when we come back, we'll talk some Mike Tomlin news as the beloved Steelers have their next head coach for the following 3 seasons. And I, for one, am happy about it. I'm not sure all of Steelers Nation feels the same way. There's some hints out there that perhaps they don't, but we'll kick that around a little bit as we continue our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. We are here at Quaker Steak and Lube, our home away from home. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, they are getting everything ready. In about 26 minutes from now, the all-you-can-eat wing buffet will be officially underway.
Dude, I just had lunch here, and they got the new menu in here for the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
They got some Mexican street corn dishes now.
Oh, yeah.
Not the whole ear, but the Mexican street corn.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. I just had some chicken tacos with Mexican street corn.
There you go.
Unbelievable, brother.
Good times.
Unreal.
Good times. Here at Quaker Steak and Lube and State College, we're back with more good times on the big show after this.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Look, handsy busboy. Your wings suck! I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
We welcome you back in here on this Tuesday afternoon. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show at Quaker Steak and Lube. And again, they are gearing up for the all-you-can-eat wing buffet here every Tuesday starting at 4 o'clock. And come on down and enjoy a wide selection of their delicious meaty wings and all of the sides that come with it. Again, Quaker Steak and Lube, great service, great beverages, great food, and yep, all of the sports you could possibly ask for on the TVs all throughout the restaurant. Great place to come on down and watch the NHL finals.
2-0.
Be interesting to see if Edmonton can score or average throughout the series more than a half goal a game, which is where they're at 2 games in.
I did hear a stat last night, and that was that they were talking about one of the runs that the Oilers made back in the Gretzky days.
Yeah.
And they had 35 goals in 5 games. That's 7 goals a game they averaged.
Yes.
That's just insane. And this was in the clutching and grabbing era back in the day, the late 70s, early 80s, that they were doing that.
Yep.
And that's why, and I will not give you or any other Yinzer credit, but it was amazing to watch what Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr did back in the day with the size that those guys were and how physically skilled they were and how they played the game was just at that time in the clutch and grab era. Like, how long would Mario have played if he didn't have to play in that BS era? You know what I mean? I get it. I'm a Flyers fan. I like a rougher type of hockey, but not the clutching and grabbing cheap shot stuff. That was never their really game. They used to just try to beat you up on the ice, intimidate you, legal ways.
Yep.
Not cheap, dirty shots and stuff like that. It's like some teams and organizations are known for. There was one clip I saw a while ago, and it's like, watch this, and it was a power play. It was Jagr and Lemieux, probably Straka. They're just working the puck around and this and that. And somebody was like, look at how many times they get slashed. And that was the defensive play back in the days. You had the puck, they were just hitting your wrists and forearm, wrist and hand with the stick, which is a complete penalty anymore nowadays.
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean, literally, I'm telling you, and like the minute clip that they showed those 3 guys, working the puck around on a power play, I bet you there was 15 penalties that would have been called in today's game. Unbelievable. Very impressive what those cats did, man.
No question about that.
But it goes back to what I'm talking about, the Oilers. I know we're talking about the Oilers right now. Will we ever see a homegrown organization like that in sports? They were all drafted.
No, you won't.
I mean, what they drafted in like a 4-year window was just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And the amount of players that they had on the team that were homegrown, drafted, no free agency, like 7 or 8, like literally top Hall of Fame players in like 3 drafts. Like, wow, that's unbelievable what they did.
Yeah. Bobrovsky has been unbelievable for the Panthers. So Edmonton had so many opportunities though in both of those games. I mean, like, great scoring chances. And sometimes you say, man, just the opposing defense is doing a great job. No, it is Bobrovsky and almost him alone that is getting this job done for Florida. He has been the epitome of a goaltender standing on his head through the first 2 games here of the series. Now we'll see how everything plays out, but I don't know that you could have a goaltender playing any better than what he is right now. He has stopped, breakaways. He's stopped 2-on-1, the 1 3-on-1.
Stacking pads, and he's not a small man.
And no, he is. It's truly remarkable what he has done through the first 2 games of that series. For those watching the NBA, I can't. I actually tried. I turned it on for about 5 minutes the other night. Again, to each their own. I'm not. If you love the NBA, that's fine. More power to you. There's stuff I like. I mean, wrestling. There's a lot of people that don't understand how anybody can watch wrestling. So I get it. I'm not saying. It's just not for me. I cannot watch that version of basketball. I don't find it even mildly entertaining. I just don't. But the Celtics
complete start talking about the NBA for this season.
Yeah, Celtics are up to. Yeah, I really did. I mean, as much as I could. I'm not going to sit there and tell you I was determined I'm going to watch it, but I'm like, I'll land on this for 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm good. I can't. I'd almost rather watch anything else on the tube than the NBA these days.
I don't mind watching your Buccos.
Yeah, I will say it was funny. So
watch, man.
Todd and Norm Brown, of course, do our high school sports coverage, and Todd and I were talking the other day I forget. I think may have been dropping off one of the checks that the PIAA gets for our coverage, and we were talking about the Pirates, and it's like the one thing about them this year is we get that they're in last place, and that they have their struggles, but they are a very watchable team. It is a product that you can watch and feel like it was a worthwhile investment of your time, which has not been the case very often for much of the last 4 decades. But they really are. They're an entertaining team. The pitching is, when it's on, it is really, really good. I mean, Jarrett Jones has been a little up and down here, but obviously has the potential to be in a certainly to this point, Skeens is giving you no reason to question his number 1 overall pick status. Mitch Keller keeps coming on. I mean, they're getting quality starts up and down the lineup, but
they're going to look great in the blue, in the red, white, and blue in the Phillies.
Yes, but they're playing much better defensively, and they're getting, as the season is going on, they're getting more timely hitting. I mean, O'Neill Cruz is just a freak of nature, and
I'd say that if there wasn't an identical twin playing in Cincinnati.
Well, fair enough, but man,
it's crazy.
The way he swings the bat, though, is just crazy. And obviously just a giant of a shortstop. But Pirates will open up. They could be out of the basement here in the National League Central by the end of this evening. They take on the St. Louis Cardinals, who are just a half game in front of them right now.
Correct.
That game
31-34, I just saw up there.
Yeah, that series will be in St. Louis starting tonight. What'd you think of the London experience? Go ahead.
I was talking to Brenton here, the assistant manager here for the. We were like, he said the Phillies Buccos series in late July, and we're trying to figure out when Skeens is going to pitch because he's like, and I'm like, well, how do you test from now? He goes, well, that's All-Star Week, and I was like, oh crap. So, if Wheeler starts, Nola starts in the All-Star game, Suarez starts, I don't know. You're going to get one of those 3 pitching against Skeens Friday or Saturday night.
Yep.
That's a hell of a damn matchup in Pittsburgh.
Be a fun one. So it'll be a fun one.
I mean, if he pitches Sunday, it's a 5-day break. Do they pitch him on Friday? Or do they go Friday, Saturday? I don't know. But you're going to be guaranteed to get Nola, Wheeler, or Suarez versus Skeens in one of those first 2 games. That's going to be awesome. And I literally, Skeens pitches tonight, so I will watch those Buccos play. I mean, I'm telling you, man, he is dynamic. I'm gonna, like, everybody's saying and I said it too. He's gonna be Kerry Wood or Steven Strasburg. I don't see it like that. I don't think he's like completely like overly exerting himself. Like those guys were just sheer freaking power.
Yeah.
He seems to actually know how to pitch.
Yeah, I think he does. That being said, it is still a whole lot of power in that arm and that shoulder. I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree.
You knew their arms were going to go away. They were just going to. They couldn't pitch like that all the time. Yeah. It seems like he can.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that. I hope you're right about that, obviously, but no, I think you could be right on that one. But he really has. Just his presence has changed, I think, the feeling around that organization, including in the clubhouse. It's like, well, even if we're in a skid, we know that, once in 5 games, we're going to have a real strong opportunity here to win. And again, with the way Jones and Keller are pitching, and it's not that, and even Falter is.
They did
the consistency just is not there with the others.
The Buccos did a hell of a job getting McCutchen back and keeping McCutchen.
Yeah,
he's not lighting the world on. He's not going to light the world on fire. That's not his game.
That is,
he is the old grandfatherly guy saying, "Okay, this is how he's making these young college kids into professional ball players."
Yeah,
the Pirates did a good job of keeping him. One, they owed him. because he carried them for a few years there.
Yep.
And secondly is that he's only going to be good for your team. He's ingrained in the Pittsburgh culture. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays on in some capacity.
I would be very surprised if he doesn't at this point.
Well, I love the fact
surprised
that
and disappointed.
Team.
Yeah,
they got a good young core, and they have a hell of a leader out there in him right now.
That they do.
It's pretty damn cool. Enough pirate talk.
All right, let's move on to the Phillies.
Did you like the London series? Did you watch any of it?
I did not see any of it live. I intended to, and then our days both got away. We ended up actually going down on my gosh, I got to get my days right here. Saturday, we went down to Del Grosso's and spent we were down there when it opened at, I think the park side opened at 11, if I'm remembering right. So we were on the road. So no, didn't get to see it then. And then Sunday, I forget we were out on the road.
Pitched.
Yeah, and we were on the road. We had something from 10 to noon, and then we were something else from noon to 4. We actually had to leave. It was a Cub Scout hike that we had at 10. We actually left that a little early to get to our other event at noon. So I didn't get to. I saw some of the highlights and stuff, but I did not get to see any of it live.
The only problem is there was Mets people there. That's the only thing that was wrong.
A lot of Mets people there.
Yeah, it was 4-1. I'd say 5-1 probably. But they were still there, and they'd bring any party down personally.
I hear you.
So actually, my buddy Kevin Ransom from the Lock Haven area, he's a Mets fan, and he actually wrote me on Facebook and said, "Hey, you have a nice little feel of what it's like to be a Mets fan this day. You gave up 3 runs. The ball left the infield 1 time, and you gave up 3 runs to blow the lead and lose the game." He goes, "That sounds like a Mets game." And I was like, and then I didn't have to say it, but somebody jumped on because the guy tagged me. So one of my friends at home, he goes, "The Phillies have 10,000 losses in their career. They're okay. We've been through a lot of these things. So this is just a happy time to be a Philadelphia fan, no doubt." But again, it looked like a fun time over there. How they handled it in England was pretty cool with Utley, working for MLB. He moved his whole family to England. They live there. And it's not just because he's a Philly. He works for MLB.
Yeah.
And just promoting baseball over there. And it was cool to see all the fans there. Did you see? I did send you the picture of the one Philly fan. And I said England blew a 13 colony lead.
Yeah.
I that was the funniest thing. Now, I was told that may not have been a Philadelphia Phillies shirt. That actually shirt may have been around before this. But I was like, kudos to you, man.
Well,
kudos to him for wearing that over there. I'm sure he got a few odd looks. But, it was cool. I like what Francisco Lindor said afterwards. He goes, "This is worse than the All-Star break." And the Phillies played an afternoon game on Thursday. They played 2 games over in England, and now they got a night game in Boston on Tuesday. So that's like 2 games in 5 days. That's not what these guys are used to.
Yeah.
So
they didn't even play Thursday. Yeah, they had Thursday and Friday off. Then they played Saturday, Sunday, and then had Monday off.
Okay, so it was Wednesday afternoon they played.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yes. Yeah, because they had the correct.
Yeah, so somebody was sitting there saying the Phillies got the Red Sox, Baltimore, and a third team, maybe the Giants or San Diego coming in. Somebody was like, "That's a pretty tough 10-game schedule right there, right now." So
coming back,
they better be ready to go here. They might have a little lull right now, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. But it's hard to not watch the Phillies pitching. The starting pitchers, when 5 of your starters are in the top 7 ERAs in the National League. It's like they can hit the cover off the ball. They can do that, but they're not doing that. They do, but not all the time. These people aren't top the 5 pitchers in the MLB because they're getting 15 runs a game support. No, they have 5 of the 7 lowest ERAs in the National League. That's insane to think about.
In this day and age, I mean, at any time that would be impressive, remarkable. But in this day and age, to have a staff that has 5 stars, I mean, it's impressive if you can get 2 starters in the top 10. I mean, it is. 3 is almost unheard of. 5 is just absolutely insane.
And they have a sixth guy, a Tarbell guy, who they'll bring in every once in a while to start a game if they want to get a little extra, day of rest for their other starters. Do you know how nice that is to do? I know the Buccos have been doing a little a six pitcher rotation. It keeps these guys fresh, man.
It is a big deal when you get later in the season, for sure.
Speaking of fresh, I have a good one for you. So I obviously didn't do the show last week with the tooth issues. So it may have been Sunday of the week before, last Sunday, so like 9 days ago. But Jeff Powers came over to the house. Jeff is the GM here. Absolute loves Pittsburgh sports through and through. We were talking, watching a late night Pirates game. And we were talking about how, like, I love the pitch clock, and he's a baseball guru. And he goes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do too. And then I said, what I like even more, I said, I like the player at second base in the extra innings. I said, I don't mind watching like a 15, 20 inning game every once in a while. But, I mean, can you imagine being a pitcher? And you have like 2 of those or 3 of those in a month? Your bullpen is just getting to get destroyed. And that's what they've stopped by doing having the guy on second base. I really personally believe that they have stopped. They've made the extra innings quicker. You see them ending at 10, 11, and 12. Yeah. Sure as hell we had that conversation, and that's the game that went 16.
Yeah,
and I was just like, well, this is exactly how it is. You talk about it.
Yeah, but that's such the exception.
It was. But it was just funny that we were talking about that exact thing. But you're a purist.
I will say the pitch clock I have come around on. I still if you ask me my personal druthers, would I just soon not have it. I like the not having the time factor there, but I will say it's only when, like, I'm asked about, like, it is such a part of the game, and that quickly, it's like, well, no, that's just the way it is, and you're kind of keeping an eye on it. And we were at the Spikes opener on Friday night. Our family went up, and the Mad Turtle loves, when we first get to a game now, no matter where it's at, he wants to know if where we look to get the speed of the pitch, because we're fascinated by that right now.
That's unbelievable you're talking about this.
I have a fun little story on that too. And then where the clock is, so you can watch and so
the clock's easy to find at the ball.
Well, for sure. So he enjoys just keeping tabs on that stuff. We were also talking about the when the coaches come out and have the discussion with the players, how that works. There's a limit on how many times, and then you got to pull the pitcher and all of that. So, as always, the best thing about taking a kid to a baseball game, especially when they're when they're not just running around, it's like, hey, is just kind of watching them learn the game, helping them a little bit, but watching them largely on their own kind of notice stuff, figure some things out. That's just fun. And I still think baseball, there's something about doing that for young people at baseball that is more special than at other sports. I mean, you can do it obviously at a football game. It's like, hey, why is the running back going out wide there, or whatever. I mean, you can learn obviously at any sporting event, wrestling and right on down the list. I don't know. For some reason, it's just different with baseball. It feels more special and like you're more connected to your own childhood. So I like that. I've gotten used to the pitch clock. Again, if it was just for my personal pleasure, these are the rules. How do you want them set up? We do away with the pitch clock. We do away with the second base. I completely understand what the runner at second, and it makes a ton of sense. I mean, it absolutely does. And I'm okay with it because I understand it. But yes, my preference, and I get all of the arguments against it, and you're right. I mean, I don't even have anything to come back on in terms of, the games are too long, asking too much of the pitchers, all of it. Agreed. I still, if I had my druthers, we'd still go back to it, but I completely get it. And I don't think, it's not like it's ruining the game for me. It's like, okay, no, I get it. This is how we do it. And it's certainly doing what Major League Baseball wanted it to do in terms of getting those games over sooner, saving pitchers. I mean, all of it. And instant drama. I mean, there's no question when you go to the top and the bottom of the inning, like you are, boom, locked in as a fan. So, all right, are we going to get this guy home or not?
Yeah.
So
you went to the game Friday night. I went Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
What'd you think?
Love the park. Love the upgrades.
Yes.
Love the food selection. We
Fantastic.
we did a pretty good job on the menu with our family on Friday night. So we had a great experience.
Cheesesteaks, dogs, brats.
The Mad Turtle had a. Now I'm forgetting if he ended up getting the cheesesteak or the cheeseburger. Now I'm forgetting which he ended up doing. We were debating. I honestly don't remember now which he did. I ended up doing, my gosh, what did I do? I did the buffalo chicken strips and fries. And then my wife was very excited because the veggie burger is available.
The Incredible Burger?
She thought it was very good. I don't know. It was just listed as a veggie burger, but yep. So
we went Thursday,
and then we had popcorn, and I forget we got something else.
Did you do Dippin' Dots?
No, I'm not a big Dippin' Dot.
Not you. The turtle.
Yeah, the kiddo. He didn't do it at this game. Yeah, I'm not a.
I made a comment the other day. I got an eyeful. And I said, if Dippin' Dots been around since the 70s, since NASA program said they were the ice cream of the future.
Yep.
I said, that's 60 years ago. When the hell's the future? And my wife gave me a look like, it's just a little kid eating ice cream, dude. I said, okay, I'm sorry. I'll shut up now. So if anybody has not been looking, the Spikes team can freaking hit.
That they can.
Holy crap, dude. They're putting freaking runs up right now.
Yes.
Big comeback on Sunday night, Bark in the Park night. I had my Lulu. Lulu was her introduction to the world was Sunday night at the Bark in the Park.
Nice.
So she did a very good job. Had a great game. They played great. The offense is there. We went Saturday. It was 5-1 in the first inning. I think the final score was like 16-4. So they can hit.
Yeah,
so
it was the same way.
There.
Friday night, there were, I forget what the score, but it was like, I want to say it was 6-3 or something after the first inning. Like both teams, versus like, we're going to be here all night. And it was a long game, but it was
fun.
The
upgrades in the stadium have been outstanding with the new screen.
Yes.
It's 3.5 times the size of last year's. Now, it's funny you say that about the pitch clock. Did you end up finding it?
Oh, yeah.
How small it is up there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to rearrange that to make that a little bit bigger because I was always like, where's the pitch clock?
Yeah.
Because I'm like the Mad Turtle. I would like to see, I want to see a pitch. I want to see a pitch clock to see how many pitches the guy's thrown and then what's the mile per hour on it. So that's just really small in the top part of the box. So they're going to fix that. But I thought that was really, really cool. But just the experience of the whole thing, getting in and out, and the food concessions everywhere, it was both well-attended games. It wasn't like it was an empty night, but stuff was running, and it went through pretty quick. So our guys over at the Spikes have done a heck of a job this offseason, and, get out there. I know we don't have any game. I think next Wednesday is our next home game because of the PIAA playoffs this coming weekend. So, make a plan to get out there, bring the kids.
Yeah.
Did you see the video I sent?
Yes, loved it.
Oh, my God. All I can think about. So the video I sent, Jeff, is a little girl. Was it T-ball? It was T-ball.
I think it was,
In classic T-ball fashion, she hits the ball about 4 feet. So the first baseman, second baseman, third baseman, shortstop, catcher.
Everybody's running to the ball.
Everybody, including the left fielder, just starts sprinting at the well-hit ball that's 6 feet off of the tee. And the whole team runs at it, and this girl comes out of the box, and she does a cartwheel to miss the tag, and there's nobody at first to take the force out. So she got a single out of it. And I was like, when you talk about the Mad Turtle, that's all I could think about. I was like, this is what I remember watching little kids T-balls games.
Yep.
So I sent it to Jeff, and I thought that was hilarious.
So we went to, you're listening to WFXS, Pleasant Gap State College. We appreciate your doing so, also known as Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. Our little show here, the Goon and Ironhead Show, runs 3 to 5, Tuesdays and Thursdays normally. Could be some changes in there from time to time, but that's our normal schedule, at least for now. The Mad Turtle, we went to Del Grosso's on Saturday, and they have one of those pitching booths there.
Hold on.
And
the speed check, they're checking your speed.
Yep.
Nice.
And then with
Nice.
the artificial painted catcher and the mitt. And we had gone to the batting cages at Tussey a couple of weeks ago. And both he and his buddy really wanted to do the 70 mile an hour pitches. And we're like, well, the issue is out of 16 balls, you're making contact with about 3 or 4 on the 45 mile an hour machine. So how about we not waste the money right now? Once we get to the point where we're hitting like 12 or more of those 16 with the 45, then we can maybe think about going to the 70. But they have the softball set up there, which is a little slower as well. And they both did very well with that. And we did a couple of rounds of the 45. So we go down there to Del Grosso's, and I think it's 3 balls you get to throw. And the Mad Turtle threw the first one like 36 miles an hour. And I'm like, that's pretty good. He goes, Dad, I can throw a lot harder than that. And so he throws the next one 42. And then he threw the last one 41. And it's like, I'm almost as fast as the pitching machine at Tussey. I'm like, you are. Like, that was the big comparison we're going to be proud about. So I think that's kind of we ended up getting a season pass, so we'll probably be down there at least a few times. I suspect.
The Grossos.
Yeah, every time we get down there, we're going to at least have to do that once, with the idea, undoubtedly, that we're going to hit 45 before the end of the summer.
Grown men have destroyed their arms and shoulders at that machine.
Well, it was funny. We watched a couple of other people. No, he actually didn't. We watched a couple of other people. There was a young, like, high school kid who clearly was a baseball player, and he was throwing it in the low 70s. But there was another kid, and I don't remember. I don't think the Mad Turtle, he might have been off in the restroom or something, but I was watching, and it was a kid that I think was around his age, but the kid had more bulk to him. My kiddo is slender and small in frame, and this kid had some girth to him, and he threw it. There was all right around, I think 44 was his fastest, or maybe it was 46. It was one of those two. And I'm like, just so you know, Reg, like, you're doing pretty well here, because I just watched a kid that I figured would probably be, in the 50s, and he was throwing it. I mean, it wasn't that he didn't have some power behind it, but I'm like, yeah. So we were encouraged anyway.
So back when I was a little kid, we'll go story time with Uncle Goon.
Yes, sir.
Minor league baseball, so I was 9. They put my mother in a dunk booth at the Holy Martyrs School carnival every year.
I love
big,
the dunk
huge
booth.
Carnival every year.
Yep.
So my brothers, I'm 9 years old, so that means my older brothers, Mr. All-American high school football player, other brothers high school All-American basketball player. So my mother was, it was the highlight of our sports era.
Yep.
At our home. So she was in the dunk tank, and my mother was like me and just talked crap to everybody. So the line around the corner, wrapped around 6 different times to get my mother in the dunk tank, was rather long, and it was the largest money they've ever made at the Holy Martyrs Church's summer carnival.
Yep.
So I had 3 pitches at it, and I knocked her in 3 times.
There you
and
go.
My minor league baseball coach says, "Hey, buddy, you're starting on Thursday, and our next game you're starting. If you have that kind of accuracy," I was like, And I just thought about it. As I'm older, I'm like, was it because I just wanted to dunk my mother that I had that much accuracy, or was I really thrown? But yes, that was, and my mother was so mad at me, but loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's
but
fun
I'm
stuff.
not lying to you, Jeff. The line was 4,000 people long. They were dunking until like 4 a.m. Like, just stay out there, Mary. Stay out there.
And here we go again. We'll take a break here. We are right back. Quaker Steak and Lube with more on our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands, busboy. Your wings suck. I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on this Tuesday afternoon. Again, Mike Tomlin signing a 3-year contract extension with the beloved Steelers. And it is just so funny to me. I think we've talked about this before, but people ascribe, and we're seeing it a little bit even with Caitlin Clark, and I want to get into the Olympic thing too with her. But I've seen a lot of stuff with, Mike Tomlin, because, he wants to get 3 more years of not having a losing record, and that's what he's. Have you ever heard? And this is what just drives me crazy. So there is a media, and by the way, it's a worthwhile narrative. 17 seasons in the National Football League without a losing season is,
guess who else has that record?
Really, really difficult.
Guess who else has that record?
Who?
Nobody.
Well,
nobody in the history of the NFL.
So it is an impressive accomplishment. A couple of things. Mike Tomlin, I guarantee you can go back through all of the transcripts from every press conference he has had. At no point has he ever uttered the words, boy, do I hope we have a winning season this year. What we really are wanting to do this year is get at least one more W than we have an L. But that has never been his goal, his stated goal. I don't think it's something he talks about in private. It has nothing to do with what it is that he envisions for the program. It is just a fact that in 17 years, they haven't had a losing record. But people keep making it sound like that is what is important to him. It is not. He has never expressed that it is. The goal, as it is with just about every coach and every organization, every year. Now, some years it may be a far-fetched goal for some coaches and some organizations, and we understand that. But even in those years, the goal is to be building toward, yes, winning a Super Bowl. There is one team each year that gets to win the Super Bowl. When we were doing the high school softball game yesterday, we were talking about this and how difficult it is to win a state title in baseball or softball, or in any sport for that matter. And and especially in a sport like baseball or softball, where, and you see it, with the World Series, like there's several teams that are capable of winning the World Series each year, right? And it's like who gets hot at the right time, who gets, the right pitching rotation and the right matchups. All of that stuff plays into it. And somebody wins it, but it's not that very rarely is it, well, yeah, that team was just so clearly superior to everybody else. And, high school baseball and softball, again, on one given day. Yesterday, Baldy Galleria has a good enough softball team to win a state title this year. They got beat by two big home runs yesterday.
Same girl.
Yep, Sage Lorison was terrific. The right fielder for South Williamsport got
want to get into a conversation when you're done here.
Two big drives. Yep. So anyways, it is hard to get to the playoffs in the NFL. It is really hard to win in the playoffs in the NFL.
Injuries.
And yes, it is extremely difficult to win the Super Bowl.
Injuries, weather. The Steelers' timetable of 3 games in 10 days.
Yeah.
Like scheduling. That is
yes,
huge.
all of that stuff. So what Mike Tomlin, though, has done is produce at a high level consistently. I think part of what is happening here with this 3-year contract extension is, one, the Steelers organization internally loves Mike Tomlin. They see the way he leads that team and the buy-in that he gets from the players. And I know we had the talk last year. It's like, well, are the players really buying in? Yes. And I know there was a lot of talk that, at some point it grows stale. So it can. I'm not saying that is an impossibility. I don't think that is the case with Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Now, they do happen to be, I think, in at least arguably the toughest division in football. They are certainly in the toughest conference right now in football.
How dare you?
And but the reason I think they made this recommitment, if you will, to Tomlin is because they also recognize that, and this is what I think fans don't maybe recognize and appreciate as much as we should, or folks in the media. So a coach is important. There's no question. A coach is a key component to building a winning organization. But the front office and the GM, you better have somebody that is making the right calls there. And I think the Steelers, and I think the fan base too, is starting to get thrilled with Omar Khan and when you look at what he has done since the end of last year to now to make this a better organization. I don't think there's any doubt that the Steelers will be a better team this year. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a better record because of the things you just mentioned. I mean, schedule, injuries, all of those things play into it. But I think they are better positioned to be a contender now than they were at this time a year ago. And I thought they were pretty well positioned a year ago. I really did. But I think Omar Khan is a huge difference maker here for the Steelers. And I think they want to see, the ownership group wants to see, all right, this GM with this coach who we know can win Super Bowls, let's see what these guys can do together here over the next at least 3 years now. And so I love the decision by the Steelers. I think it gives you stability unlike any other organization in the NFL right now. And I think there is a feeling that they are on the upswing, and that whether this is the year or not, they are working toward getting to that point where they are, again, winning at least a Super Bowl, if not Super Bowls.
Yeah. And you're saying, when I talked about it being stale and players aren't buying in, we went right back to when Philadelphia got rid of Andy Reid.
Yep.
And it was just time for him to go. I really don't think it's time for Mike Tomlin to go. I really don't. I think that he still has a lot in his tank. The players still respect him and understand him. Now, he is going to lose a monster part of his locker room, and that's Cameron Hayward.
Yep.
Is it worth it to the Steelers to sign him because he is that locker room presence to keep those guys in line? And if he does move on, does J.J. Watt take that, or T.J. Watt take that role over as like the locker room guy? Like, hey, this is the Steeler way. This is how we do it. And you got to love those type of guys. But in regards to Andy Reid wearing his welcome out in Philadelphia, he could still coach. We know that. He's won 3 Super Bowls now with the Chiefs. But at that time, it was just worn out in Philadelphia. And it was time for him to go. I personally don't think it's time for Mike Tomlin to go. And I want to say, and you probably will agree, but if you don't, let me know. And that is that it's well known the Steelers will not pay to get, if they're going to fire Mike Tomlin, it's going to be after her contract is up. They're not going to pay 2 coaches. It's not in their DNA to do that. They're not going to pay Mike Tomlin's contract out and then pay another guy $10 million. That's just not their MO. It never has been. Now, with that said, I did have a conversation the same night that me and Jeff were talking about the extra innings in baseball.
Yep.
And we're talking about Tomlin. And that is I honest to God think that Mike Tomlin can go 2-15 next year. And I really think that the Steelers would hang on to him. I think that he is so ingrained in the Steelers culture, and he is the Steelers. I personally, they don't get rid of coaches. And I think that he has earned it. I mean, he's more than earned his right to get this contract.
Yeah. And
he has one real bad season, and they're going to run him out after that. I don't agree with that. I still think he has a bullet in his gun that says, I'm not to be fired because I had a bad season. That's just how I feel like as an outsider looking at the Steelers organization.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably right. And part of it is now you have a 17-year track record. And so if for something to go that haywire, you almost assume that something else is
it's not going to happen because
in.
Of how they've done with getting their players in the offseason and the draft picks that they've had. They've done a very, very good job of getting that team ready for this year. And you are right. I'm going to shake my head and say, oh, no, that's not true. But it's completely true. It is the hardest conference and hardest division in football by far.
I mean, right now, and again, that stuff is all cyclical, and you can,
of course,
it can change quickly. But right now, I mean, it feels like you have at least 2 teams and maybe 4 that are Super Bowl contending type of good. I mean, the Bengals clearly, if Burrow is healthy, are Super Bowl contending.
Lamar.
And yes, the Ravens clearly are.
Cyclical. Go back to the late 80s and early 90s. In the NFC East, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, they won how many Super Bowls? And they won like 8 Super Bowls in 10 years.
Yeah.
Between those 3 teams. And I mean, the Eagles that was their best teams, but they couldn't get past those guys.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But I think we just describe things sometimes that are not accurately ascribed because the media, it's not Mike Tomlin that's made a big deal about the 17 winning seasons. It's the media. And then you ascribe it to, well, that's what Mike Tomlin for you. Well, that's not Mike Tomlin for you. And it's the same thing with the Penn State fans that, well, James Franklin, he just wants the 10-win seasons. No, again, it is hard to go win a national title. And a lot of things have to come together and fall into place and all of that. And I guarantee you, James Franklin isn't up there with any contentment for where the program
I think
has
everybody's
been.
giving James one more. And that is if this year they don't make the what is it, 12-team playoff?
Well, yeah.
That is a huge, I think, speaking with people, defending James in that realm, and that is, okay, we got to get him at least this.
It is, although, again, I always will put the cat
I know,
because it just depends on how you get there and what that looks like. If you're winning, similar to the Iowa game, if Drew Aller is out there and having the game of his life, against West Virginia, and Penn State's up 21-7, and then God forbid he gets injured, and then so there's always extenuating circumstances where, okay, well, if these guys. Right, like you can't just make a blanket statement that it's either this or bust because you have to put it in context of how the season plays out. And again, much the same thing. If you lose, a last-second field goal to Ohio State, and USC ends up being much better than anybody is projecting right now, and you lose on a last-second play there, and inexplicably a 2-loss Big Ten team is left out of the playoffs and Penn State's sitting there at 13. Like, it is going to be disappointing. And yes, regardless of the circumstances, there are going to be plenty of people who, all right, Franklin, come on, it's time to go. Presuming that everything is relatively steady, yes. I do think the pressure gets ratcheted up. That being said, you tell me, Goon. You probably have a little better feel for this than I do. I don't think James Franklin is in any danger of losing his job after this upcoming season.
No, I don't think it will happen physically, but I'm thinking that a lot of
yes.
And there has been a lot of naysaying.
But listen, if that fan support erodes enough, right? Like that's where then the pressure does get put on the administration. Even if you like the guy, you believe in the guy, like you also recognize the business component to this. But again, I don't think now if the wheels completely come off, yes. I mean, I'm not saying there's no circumstance where James Franklin is, and
you and I are in the same boat in thinking this, that you're going to see more collegiate teams just crumble. Like teams that you suspect to be a top 15 team. Okay, me and you are speaking of Ohio State in the same breath. And that is that they are so wound on this season. What if they do lose an opening 3-week game and then get upset in the Big Ten once or twice, and they don't make the playoffs? And they go back and talk about how they have a $34 million NIL budget and this and that. Now, you have 2 or 3 losses. It is very easy for these guys who are now, they are not your players. They are mercenaries. They are your team. It's not your team. They're your players. Excuse me. They are not a win for the old Gipper team anymore in the collegiate football. This is a business that's going on out there. And if it's not working for some people, I think that some guys will just say, you know what? For who? For what? Why am I going to go out there? Yeah. We're already losing 6 games this year, 4 games this year. I'm not going to go out there and get hurt and ruin my opportunity to make more money. And they will just pack it up. And I think we're going to see that a lot more than we have in the past because of this money that is being thrown around. But again, I will use Ohio State as my example, and that is they have so much money invested in this team, and they are so freaking hell-bent on beating Michigan. It's insane. That's all they can think about. That if that doesn't happen, there's going to be a riot and anarchy out there. We pay this much, but this is what we say. It goes back to, okay, Ryan Day, you had $34 million. I don't even know if that's the number. It could be 12. I don't know what. I'm just throwing a number out there. But now they have a number to throw in Ryan Day's face. And say, we did it with $30 million and you couldn't win this game or couldn't win the national title. You're gone. And then they go right back to the starting line and where they were. I think we're going to see that a lot more in the next couple of years until the NIL stuff is straightened out, controlled, all of this stuff. But right? I mean, you think that it could go really wrong at Ohio State this year? It really could. It could go bad at Texas because we've seen it go bad at Texas A&M.
Yep,
we've seen it go bad at LSU.
Yes, and so I'm not. I want to be clear because if Ohio State does mop everybody up, I'm not saying that's not a possible scenario. Yeah. They are loaded, and Ryan Day has done a good job up to this point in getting and getting that message across and getting everybody to buy in. I do think this will be his biggest challenge, even though it is his most talented roster, I believe. I also do think it'll be his biggest challenge, and I can see it going either way. I mean, I'm not saying that Ohio State couldn't go out and be the team from the get-go and run roughshod over everybody. I think that is a possibility, and that they, meet Georgia or whoever it is and kind of comfortably win that game. That is a scenario that I think is possible for the Buckeyes, but you are bringing a lot of different egos together, and while you're bringing a lot of talent together too. Again, it is egos. There's a lot of guys who have not been together previously that you're counting on getting along together, being able to come in for the same objective and not start pointing fingers when something does go wrong. And at some point, again, it might not be that you lose a game, but no team goes through any season without having some sort of adversity, whether it's off the field, on the field. You're going to face something where it's like, all right, we got to overcome it. When it's guys that you know and you're close with, like, yep, no problem, we got this. I think that is going to be the challenge for Ohio State. Now, they may rise to that challenge and meet it, and yep, we're all on the same page, and we are brothers, and we had a great summer together. That is possible. No question, that is a possibility. I think it is also possible that, hey, that guy's getting a bunch more NIL money than I got, and look, he just dropped that ball, and I've been making all the I don't think it's going to take much for that thing to get derailed. If things, as you said, if they lose a game. Well, yes. No, not just Ohio State.
No,
sure.
It's just, and then their fan base is going to say, dude, we gave you this much money. That's what you gave us. You're fired. Well, and then what we have said from the start about the NIL, and that's the sustainability, and that is if I gave a bunch of money and Ohio State goes out and does not win the national title this year, and you're going to come back at me and say, hey, we need more money this year to go out, what are you going to say? You're going to say, you know what? That dog ain't hunting no more. It's got to go.
We're good.
You got to, and that's what's going to happen. So my feeling on Ohio State is like, okay, you can have all the talent in the world, all of it, and they do have a ton of talent, but their weakest part of that team is probably the most important part of that team, and I don't have to say those two words. And Jeff Ironhead Byers knows it's the offensive line. That if those guys can't block, it doesn't matter. You can have Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Marvin Harrison, Walter Payton in the back. It doesn't matter. If these guys can't block, ask the Pittsburgh Steelers. How's your run game without an offensive line? How's your passing game if you don't have the threat of a play-action pass? It's scary how much it really depends. And if you're not paying those guys, we've talked before about the Spencer Rittler thing that happened in Oklahoma, and that was that he sort of took all the NIL money, and the other guys didn't get anything, and it came back to bite him because they weren't hustling or working for him.
Yep.
And I will go back, and then this is how a professional sports locker room works. I know exactly what you're making. Everybody knows what everybody's making. Every one of them knows. And like you said, if you're not pulling your weight and you're making the most money, that is going to cause it happens with professional athletes who are supposed men. And then now you're going to do it to 17 to 22-year-old kids. Dude, it is a recipe for disaster when it's going to blow up in many, 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 many teams' faces. It really, truly is.
And there is a different level of pressure. And we've talked a lot about the mental health component and the recognition now that is much better at the collegiate level and across sports and across society. But with what you're talking about there, Goon, so now you're going to have, and again, there's been pressure there all along. Teammates, coaches, fans, but it is amped up. And more than ever, Goon, and I mean, I know coaches that tell players just stay off social media altogether.
Coaches stay off social media too.
And and I know that not many of them are going to do it, but it would behoove you during your playing career, especially at the collegiate level, because it is going to get, I mean, it's been vicious, but yes, because of the money involved now, people are going to feel more freedom to attack verbally.
Yep.
Kids, and
they make more than you. You're gonna want to say something.
You better believe it.
Yep. And that's the other thing is that,
and if you're having, so you've dropped the ball in a big game, which happens to the best of receivers. You dropped the ball that would have won the team the game. Now, and your girlfriend broke up with you the previous week, and you're struggling in that science class. I mean, again, without all of this, things can mount quickly for a student athlete. You add this factor in, I genuinely worry about the breaking point for some of these individuals, and it is going to be a very unforgiving situation, at least initially.
He has said this to me from the start, and that is, when's that threshold crossed of saying, you know what, Chris is a diehard fan. Pooch is a big-time diehard Penn State fan.
Yep.
As proud of the university as you get. He loves his university, loves Penn State football, and he's even on that side. It says, when is that threshold of, okay, this kid's still a college kid, which is right now where leave the kid alone. He's just a college kid.
Yep.
And he had a big miss. He had a big drop, or he gave up a sack in that game, or he missed a tackle, or he got beat on a screen. Where is that threshold of saying, well, you know what, this kid's making $250,000. He's making twice as much as me and my wife do. Why can't I say something to them? And that's where we're going to go. And again, where are these players' minds going to be when this stuff's coming up? And I have another one for you, Jeff. Having lived this life, you would be effing amazed. I don't know, is effing allowed to be said, or is that a bad thing to say? You tell me.
You're okay.
Okay. I won't say the real one, but
yes.
All right. Your family and your friends know what those other guys are making too. And they're going to sit there, and there is a little bit of pressure there too.
Yeah.
And say, well, why you're playing, you're starting, why is that guy over there? He's not even playing a quarter as much as you, and he's making twice as much as you. And that is pressure that you get. It happens. It does happen. Now you're adding like in college when there was guys who were highly recruited. I will say the name Scott Stratton was the number one recruit, offensive line recruit in my class. Jeff Hardings was the least recruited guy in my class. One flames out. So Scott would have been $1 million, $2 or $3 million guy to come to Penn State, I'm sure, as the number one offensive lineman recruit in the country. Jeff would have been happy getting his gas money to come to Penn State. Scott lasts 1.5 years, has to retire because he's just not good.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardings goes on to a 15-year NFL career, 3-time All-Big Ten, 2-time All-American, 4-time All-Academic All-American. Now, you can't tell me that Jeff wouldn't be looking at Scott Stratton saying, okay, well, I should have his money coming to me because I'm now the All-American. He's no longer here. And then you're getting that, you will get that pressure from your friends at home. And there's going to be issues. And then you add in the whole nighttime party time when your brothers come to town, i.e. my brothers, and then you have one who gets a little too libatious and he wants to say something to somebody that they're not that good of a football player, and why is his brother not getting paid or playing?
Or somebody breaks out the cell phone and here's the picture of your favorite quarterback chugging a beer, and then look at that interception he threw on Saturday.
Well, he missed practice, or he's doing an autograph show on Thursday afternoon.
No,
that's what I'm worried about, bud. There's a lot to worry about in this.
I am with you 100%.
I say it every show. I do not envy Patrick Kraft and what he has to be dealing with right now as the athletic director.
No, any AD. It is very difficult navigating right now. We'll take a break here. When we come back, I do want to touch on the Caitlin Clark and the Olympics situation, and we'll see what other trouble we can get into on the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube. You're listening to Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Look, handsy busboy. Your wings suck. I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome back in here on this Tuesday afternoon. One final segment as we head into the evening hours. Got another scout project tonight, so busy little evening at our house, making the Jared boxes for the kiddos at the hospitals.
I know the Pine Box Derby. That's already done.
Yep.
What's the Jared box?
Jared's box is just those boxes that little care boxes that they give to the kiddos in the hospital. So we'll be making those with our pack coming up a little bit later this evening.
They're all going to try and do the same thing, or they do something?
No, it's little packages that you put together for different kids, different age groups, male, female, all that stuff.
That's awesome, man.
A lot of fun. So good. Caitlin Clark, not on the U.S. Olympic team. Outrage, Goon. Outrage from some. The thing that I find most curious is the number of folks in sports media who are advocating that, my gosh, you've got to understand the marketing component here, and to pretend that the marketing component isn't part of this. I'm sorry, count me as one that, I understand what they're saying. That is not how I want an Olympic team assembled. I want the Olympic team to be the 12 best players that
give you the best
this country has to, yes, go out and compete. And the one host I was listening to today was like, well, they're going to win no matter what. So first of all, do you know how you start to form a culture where you don't win no matter what? Is you start taking people because of marketing, or that is just not how you build a championship culture or a championship team. Now, if Caitlin Clark, I do not follow women's basketball closely enough to know
you
whether
have
or not
more
she
in the
is,
last year because of her.
Yes, but I don't know whether she is actually one of the best 12 in the country or not. It sounds like the general consensus is, from those that know, that no, she probably isn't. Now, I would think, and again, I don't know, I just would think with her shooting prowess that is somebody that would be worth having on the roster, because she does shoot it lights out when you get her an open look. But
I'm with you.
If she didn't merit being on the team, then she didn't merit being on the team. And there's always some subjectivity there, right?
Man.
Like, I mean, that's welcome to sports.
I've been reading a lot about
team sports. Yeah, go ahead.
The 92 Olympic Dream Team.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this. You had a retired Magic Johnson because of AIDS. This is before we knew that they actually, there was a big stigma about that.
Yeah.
And then you had a oft injured, very, very off Larry Bird. And then you leave off a guy like Isaiah Thomas because he didn't have personal connections with Michael Jordan. He didn't like him. But remember who the coach of that team was?
Was that Daly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Chuck Daly's best player was Isaiah Thomas. Imagine that what's he had to have to tell Isaiah, hey, you're not good enough to make the team.
Yeah.
But it was the best for the team. And then,
or at least what they believe.
Do I think that Caitlin Clark deserves to be on the team? Yes, but do I know enough to have an educated decision? No.
But she shouldn't be there because she would bring eyeballs to the set. Is my
I'm with you.
Really firm opinion on that. And I would say that about any sport. It should be on the merits of your play only. It shouldn't be on connections. It shouldn't be on. And I understand the argument that's being made. It's like, well, yeah, but this can propel women's basketball. I am telling you that when you are selecting the Olympic team or any, ultimate team, all-star team, anything like that, the marketing component, again, my opinion, that should not be what determines who is out there. I think that is, again, a recipe for disaster.
That's putting Tiger Woods on the Ryder Cup team. He has no right being on the team. And he wouldn't do it because he knows he doesn't have the right to be on a team physically.
Yeah.
That type of thing right now.
Yep.
Now, I'm with you. I mean, there is, if she's off the team, and whether they made the decision or not, the decision was made to not put her on a team. Okay, then we just go with it. But then, is she the best player at that position for that team? I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Do they need just a shooting guard? Does she play defense? Do they need a defensive shutdown person? Are they going to try to work the ball down into a low post type of game? Do they need an outside shooter like her type of thing? Again, it goes back to, is she a good defender? I don't know.
Right.
Can she do this? I don't know. We need this as a society. The media is it's overwhelming people right now.
Well, and she's handled it very well. She said it gives me something to shoot for. That's yes. But the specific argument that, listen, women's basketball needs her in the Olympics, that is, again, my opinion, an awful way to look at it. You want,
bad take.
I think you should want the best 12 players on that roster, regardless of their marketability or anything else. I put the best players out there. Now, because I mentioned this to somebody earlier, they're like, well, what if the best 10 players are all guards? Okay, you got me. I'm saying the comprising the roster that makes sense. Okay. Good. Yes, I understand that maybe, if you're putting together a baseball team and the 5 best players are all first basemen, then yes, you're leaving a couple of them off of the roster. I get it. It's not what we're talking about, but you're taking the best guards, the best forwards, and the best center, okay? And if you're a guard-heavy team, then you're taking a couple of extra guards. If you're a forward-heavy, year, whatever. But you got to get all the positions covered, okay? We'll admit that. I'll concede that point, but then you're taking the best of the best in terms of filling out the rest of that roster. And again, if Caitlin Clark's not one of those, so be it. I hate the idea, and there are people that are actually promoting this that, well, no, you got to understand, you're trying to get tickets to that. That is not, again, my opinion, not for the Olympics. That is not what you're trying to do. You are trying to put together the best roster that gives you the best chance to go out and win. And if you dominate, all the better. Like that should be the goal for every team in every sport. Like, you want to go out there and dominate and win. But the minute you get into this mentality, well, we're going to win no matter what, so we can take one of the spots and give it to somebody that isn't deserving in terms of on-court play, but is deserving because of exterior factors or ulterior motives. I'm telling you, that is how you begin the downfall of a dominant organization. That is just not the way you go about building a winning culture.
Winning versus entertaining.
Yes, or keeping a winning culture.
Are you looking to win this, or are you looking to entertain?
Now, if you're minor league baseball, and
even the WNBA All-Star game, that's about entertainment. That will bring eyes.
Yes, absolutely. But when you're building a championship organization and your goal is to go out and win at the highest levels, you're taking the best talent.
I'm with you.
And the best fit within the, again, if you have an outstanding talent who's all, just going to shoot the ball nonstop, I mean, that stuff factors in too. Okay. So that we don't get carried away here that, well, yes, you got to be a team player. Yeah. All of that. But the best 12 players that will create your best opportunity to go out and win the basketball game, regardless of what else happens off the court. That, to me, end of discussion. And again, I have no idea. I really don't whether Caitlin Clark is she's obviously got to be close, but if she's not one of the 12, and again, she said, I'm not right now. I'm going to use it as motivation. We'll go back to work.
I've been humbled.
And 4 years from now, look out. I'm going to do everything I can to make that team.
I'll tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. In 1984, when Jordan won the Olympic gold as a college guy.
Yep.
With Barkley and that tour. And then went to 88, and it was still college guys. But if they had allowed, in 1988, if they had allowed professional athletes on the Olympic team, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Michael Jordan would have been left off because they didn't like him then. No one liked Michael Jordan in the league.
Yeah.
They thought he was the individual of individuals. He was only out there for himself. And until he realized that he needed Scottie Pippen, he needed the center, he needed a shooter on the outside.
Yeah.
Until he realized that, and then he really did. I mean, in 1987, he scored 63 points, or 86, he scored 63 points against the Boston. It was the great, but he lost 3-0 in this series.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't think that Jordan would have made the Olympic team in 88. Does that sound completely bizarre, weird? And I think it does. But I really think that would have been the case. He'd been a third-year player in the NBA. He missed his first year and a half with a foot injury, if you recall. She only had about a year and a half or 2 years of being MJ. He wasn't Air Jordan yet.
Right.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, he was the guy who sold shoes and was unbelievable, could sell out buildings because people were like, oh, my God, you got to see this guy dunk. I take my hat off to myself right there. That's a pretty good analogy, Jeff.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Honest to God, I'm going to go back and look at the 80. Who would have won in the 88 Olympic team if the pros were allowed? 88. I mean, if they're looking for entertainment and not the team, they would have Dr. J on there who just retired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, 88. That would be a pretty cool. What guys would have been on the Olympic team in 88? Now, the reason we did the Dream Team was because they struggled in 88. Is that what happened?
Well, in essence, yes.
Okay. I know they didn't lose any golds except for that one really, really bad one in 76, I think, or 72.
72, yeah.
Oof, what a hose job that was.
Yeah.
That's what we got back to. Even a Cold War, man. That's what we got to get back to. You know, all these hot wars are not good for us.
No,
the Cold Wars
they are
going,
not.
Where the Russian judges are judging the Eastern Bloc countries so much higher than us.
I am looking forward to the Olympic Games this summer. I will say that.
I always do.
Doesn't
matter.
Yep, a lot of good local ties and connections. By the way, we haven't really mentioned on this show. We've talked about it a good bit on our morning show this week, but Chekna Traore winning the 200 meters at the NCAA men's outdoor track and field championships. First Penn Stater to ever win that event. It used to be 220 yards, and you got to go all the way back to Barney Ewell in the early 40s. The last time Penn State won the 220 yards, but in 76 that changed over to the 200 meters, and Chekna Traore will be going to the Olympic Games later this summer with the Ivory Coast, and then just a fantastic showing. And then Haley Kitching, who is a sophomore from Australia on the Penn State women's track and field team, finished in 5th place in the women's outdoor 800 meters. And so congratulations to both of those athletes on absolutely fantastic showings at the NCAA championships this past weekend. Again, you are headed up to watch some baseball on Thursday, so
entertaining Goon is out.
Believe Chris Buganani and I will be here at Quaker Steak and Lube. We want to wish the best of luck to the Bald Eagle area baseball team. They are going for back-to-back PIAA state titles. Again, they will play for the championship on Thursday morning at 10:30 at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. We'll have live coverage starting at about 10:15 here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox on Thursday morning. And again, Booch and I will be here throughout the show on Thursday at Quaker Steak and Lube while the Deer Goon consumes a bunch of hot dogs and watches baseball.
I'll do the 18 hot dogs. I'll take it for the team. Jeff.
There you go, at Medler Field.
I'll do 2 9-inning games. So
that is going to wrap things up for today. We will talk to you again on Thursday. Until then, be good.
Coast into fall. Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Look hands it, busboy. Your wings suck! I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and